My beloved child, come sit near me in this quiet moment. For what is taking place is not a sluiceous drifting within the flow of life, but a meeting that was appointed long before now, a sacred encounter where no human eyes observe. No worldly measures apply. Only my gentle presence resting upon your soul like the first light of dawn. I have not called you here to place more burdens upon you, nor to lay new commands upon your shoulders, but to let you remain within my embrace, where you do not need to prove anything, do not need to appear strong in pretense, but simply exist as you truly are. For it is written, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. Therefore, this is not an hour of striving, but an hour of resting in unconditional love. I know the paths you have walked that no one has witnessed, the stretches of road without signs or markers, where each of your steps seemed to fall into silent emptiness. Yet, my child, it was precisely in those unseen places that I was there. I saw every tear you hid in the darkness, every moment you held yourself together so you would not break, every time you chose silence instead of reaction, chose love instead of closing your heart. Do you think those things passed away without meaning? No. They are being inscribed into eternity. As it is written, "You have kept count of my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle, are they not in your book?" Psalm 56:8. Nothing within you is invisible before me, and no act of faithfulness is forgotten, even when it seems so small that you yourself cannot perceive its worth. And when you look around and see others being lifted up, being seen, being recognized, while you remain in the quiet shadows, your heart may grow heavy and wonder if you have been overlooked. But listen carefully. My beloved, I do not measure you by the noise of the world, nor do I evaluate you by the lights of a stage. I look into the hidden place, where no one can enter except me, where you continue to say yes even when no one hears it. That quiet yes is the seed of future glory. For it is written, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." Luke 16:10. What you are preserving in silence today is becoming the foundation of what I will reveal openly tomorrow. Remember the poor widow in the temple, who offered only 2 small coins, an offering unnoticed and unvalued by others. Yet I saw her, and I declared that she had given more than all, not because of the amount, but because of the fullness of her heart. Do you see? My child, heaven does not measure as the earth does. What you perceive as little can carry eternal weight. What you think is weakness can contain great power. And what you do in silence can resound across the heavens. Each time you choose to rise when you feel like collapsing. Each time you continue to believe when all evidence around you is unclear. Each time you keep your heart soft when you have every reason to harden. It is all writing a living covenant between you and me. These are not meaningless passing moments, but stones that are building an unshakable life. For it is written, "The righteous shall live by faith." Romans 1:17. So, what sustains you is not favorable circumstances, but the unseen thread that binds you to me, the thread of trust. There were parts within you that once believed you were small, insufficient, merely a shadow in a world full of competition and loud voices. But I tell you this, no soul I have created is without purpose. I did not create you to blend in, but to reflect a portion of my glory in a way no one else can. And in those seasons when you were hidden, I was refining you, purifying your motives, making your love whole, no longer dependent on human recognition, but rooted in me alone. Understand this deeply. My child, what you do in my light, even when unseen by human eyes, carries eternal value. I do not require applause to validate you. I am the one who affirms you. And when I acknowledge, no power can erase it. For it is written, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him. Hebrews 6:10. Therefore your faithfulness is never lost. It is simply waiting for the appointed time to be revealed. So do not let silence cause you to doubt your worth. And do not let invisibility make you believe you are not chosen. It is within the hidden place that I am preparing you for revelation. And within the quiet that I am refining your voice to become clear and true. In the days when no one pays attention, I am writing a story that will one day stand as a living testimony of my faithfulness upon your life. Now remain in this peace. There is no need to rush, no need to strive, no need to prove yourself. Simply trust that I have seen, I am seeing, and I will never forget. You are never alone. You are always before my eyes. And in that gaze, you are not a wandering soul. You are a child deeply loved, fully known, and carefully kept by a love that never changes. My beloved, listen carefully, for there are truths that cannot be grasped by natural sight, but only discerned by a soul resting in me. There are moments when you believe I am silent, as though the heavens are not responding to your call. Yet it is within that very stillness that I am building things far beyond your understanding. You think you have been overlooked, but in truth, you are being placed into a process of preparation, where every seed you have sown in tears will, in time, break forth into light. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap with joy. Psalm 126:5. So, your waiting is not meaningless. It is a season of formation for the right unveiling. And the day will come when you will no longer need to speak to prove your value or seek the attention of the world. For I myself will do it for you, not by displaying you outwardly, but by making what I have done within you undeniable. You will step into places that once held silence about you, and those very places will become voices, declaring your journey not to exalt you, but to glorify my name through your faithfulness. For it is written, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Luke 14:11. So, what you carry in humility today will become the support that lifts you tomorrow. You do not need to defend yourself or preserve your reputation against misunderstanding or silence. For I have already prepared witnesses, not merely people who speak on your behalf, but circumstances, outcomes, and harvests that will speak for themselves. And when that moment arrives, you will understand that the silence of the past was not absence, but the necessary space for me to shape a complete story. As it is written, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Therefore, your role is not to strive, but to remain steadfast in trust. But my child, I also know there has been another whisper that has quietly crept into your mind, a subtle and persistent lie that has slowly caused you to question the value of your obedience. It tells you that no one sees you, no one cares, that what you are doing changes nothing at all. It makes you feel as though all your efforts are dissolving into meaningless emptiness. But hear me clearly, that is not my voice. It is a deception woven by darkness, for it fears the light you carry. For it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. So every time you choose the light, darkness is already lost, even if no one witnesses that moment. Understand this deeply. Every time you choose gentleness instead of bitterness, you are breaking an unseen chain. Every time you forgive instead of holding on to resentment, you reclaim authority that darkness once held. And every time you continue to love without receiving love in return, you step into a profound victory that the world cannot measure. These are not small acts. They are spiritual battles, where your soul stands firm against currents no one else can see. Remember Joseph, who was sold, misunderstood, and imprisoned for years without explanation. There were seasons when he must have believed his dreams had died, that no one remembered him. Yet in those very years of obscurity, I was preparing him for a position beyond anything he could imagine. And when the appointed time came, he did not need to lift himself. I brought him from prison to authority in a single moment. Do you see? What I build in darkness will be revealed in the light, and no one can stop what I have ordained. So do not fear the silence. Do not let the time before visible results cause you to doubt the process. Your faithfulness is never wasted, and your obedience is never lost. It is accumulating, growing, and waiting for the right season to bloom. As it is written, let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6-9. So what you must hold on to is not perfection, but perseverance. Therefore, continue walking with a soft heart. Continue to love, to forgive, to believe, even when no one is watching. For each of these choices not only transforms you, but also shifts unseen realities around you. And the day will come when you look back and no longer ask, why did I have to go through this? But instead say, thank you, Father, for carrying me through it all. In that moment, you will understand that nothing in your journey was wasted. Everything has been woven by me into a story of glory that only I can complete. My beloved child, pause for a moment in the rhythm that has been carrying you along, and let this truth settle into the deepest, most hidden place within your soul. Your value is not measured by the gaze of the crowd, nor established by applause or human recognition. I do not need a gathering of people to validate you. I only need a faithful heart, a spirit that continues to turn toward me even when no one is watching. It is in the hidden corners of your life, where the light of the world does not reach, that I have been present. When you close the door to hide your tears, I do not leave. I remain there, silent yet fully aware. Just as it is written, your Father, who sees what is done in secret. Matthew 6:6. There is not a single moment of your life that I have not witnessed with perfect love, and the things you consider small prayers never spoken aloud. Words you wrote that no one has read. Sighs you thought disappeared into the air. All of them are received by me. I read every line you write. I listen to every breath you take. I count every moment you feel weak, yet refuse to let go of your faith. When you whisper, I am so tired, I do not rebuke you, nor do I turn away. I take notice, but not to remind you of your weakness, rather to prepare a reward for your perseverance. For it is written, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34:18. So your weariness does not distance me from you. It draws me even closer. My child, hear this with all your heart. You are not a drifting soul among countless prayers. You are not blended in, not forgotten, not lost in the crowd. Your name is remembered by me with clarity, as though engraved upon an eternal foundation. As it is written, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16. Therefore you cannot be erased from my remembrance. Each time you think you have been left behind, I look upon you and say with gentleness, wait a little longer, for I am completing something greater than what you can see. What you have not yet received is not lost. It is being prepared in a fuller and more perfect form. Remember Daniel, who prayed for many days without seeing an answer, until the messenger came and revealed that his prayer had been heard from the very first day. Yet unseen battles had taken place before the answer arrived. Do you see? Delay is not denial. It is evidence that things are being arranged beyond your sight. What you have offered up never disappears. It is moving through a process to become what is best for you. And now, You stand at the threshold of a transition you may not yet fully recognize. The season of hiddenness does not last forever. I have not only seen your faithfulness, I am calling the season of its revelation near. A movement is unfolding in the unseen realm, where what you have done in secret is being brought into the light, not for display, but for confirmation, not for comparison, but to demonstrate that nothing in me is ever wasted. For it is written, when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly. Matthew 6:6. So what you have sown is now entering its season of harvest. My child, every quiet choice you have made, every time you chose love when it would have been easier to grow cold, every time you did what was right, though it could be misunderstood, every time you kept your heart upright in a world full of distortion, all of it is becoming seed that carries life. Not a single drop of sweat given within my will is meaningless. Not a single yes spoken through tears is lost. Everything is recorded, preserved, and multiplied in ways beyond your imagination. As it is written, commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. So what you do in me will not end in effort, it will become fulfillment. So do not be afraid of the days when you see no results. Do not rush into doubt when the harvest has not yet appeared. What I am doing is never hurried, yet it is always precise. And when the appointed time arrives, you will not need to explain your journey. The outcome will speak for itself. You will not need to prove your faithfulness. The harvest will testify. In that moment, you will understand that not a single second you lived in me was meaningless. For everything has been woven together into a complete story, where my name is lifted high and you are placed exactly where I intended from the beginning. My beloved child, I know there are days when waiting wearies your heart like a dry field longing for rain, and nights when you look upward with only one fragile yet heavy question within you. When? Father, I do not rebuke you for that question, nor do I turn away from your weakness. For I know you are formed from dust and breath, and I understand that your soul trembles at times within the long silence of promises not yet fulfilled. But let me steady the rhythm of your heart with this truth. My timing is never late, and it is never wrong. It does not move according to human urgency, but according to the fullness of eternal wisdom. As it is written, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. So, what you call delay is often my hand, preserving something good until it no longer becomes a burden to you, but a blessing you are prepared to carry with humility. If I were to bring you into the light while what is within you remains unsteady, what you call glory would quickly become a weight upon your soul. If I were to open great doors while your heart still seeks recognition more than my presence, the very thing you prayed for would lead you off the path. Therefore, hiddenness is not rejection, it is mercy. Delay is not neglect, it is protection. I have kept you in seasons unseen to teach you what no spotlight can teach: stillness, fullness in the secret place, joy that is not dependent on applause, and a heart that can say, "You alone are enough for me." Father, as David said, my soul finds rest in God alone. Psalm 62:1. So I am teaching your soul to rest in me, not in the attention of the world. Now, at the very moment when you have stopped chasing the light of people and begun seeking the light of my face, when you no longer plead to be seen but long simply to be near me, when you have learned to remain faithful even on days when no one calls your name, this is the sign that you are closer than ever to your season of unveiling. For I can only lift up the one who will not be distorted by being lifted. I can only entrust the one who understands that the gift is never greater than the giver. My beloved, The season of transition has begun, not like a loud storm that all can hear, but like dawn gradually filling a room, layer by layer, until darkness has no place left to remain. Your natural eyes may not yet perceive it fully, but your spirit has already sensed it. The atmosphere is shifting. The rhythm is changing, and a quiet yet certain movement is unfolding in the unseen realm around your life. Listen more deeply with your heart, for in the spiritual realm, footsteps are drawing near, not the steps of judgment, but of reward. Not the approach of a distant judge, but of a father carrying the record of your faithfulness. I have recorded every time you obeyed while your heart was still aching. Every time you chose silence instead of reaction. Every time you continued to love without receiving love in return. Every time you stood for the light while darkness whispered that no one sees and nothing changes. Yet, as it is written, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work. Hebrews 6:10. So, not a single yes you have spoken has fallen to the ground unnoticed. What you thought had faded into nothingness. I have sealed the tears you believed only your pillow knew. I have kept as something precious the prayers you wrote and folded away, sending them to no one. I have read with the love of the one who understands the voice of your soul more deeply than you understand it yourself. My beloved child, I want to open the eyes of your heart so that you may understand that something very real is taking place, not merely passing emotion, but a spiritual process in motion, where heaven is examining, recording, and appointing the time for revelation, and to understand how I work. Remember Joseph, who was more overlooked than he in his early years, rejected by his brothers, forgotten by the world, his dreams seemingly buried in a pit and later in a prison. Yet none of those hidden seasons were wasted. When no one defended him, I was deepening within him the heart of a ruler. When no one saw him, I was forming in him the strength to stand through injustice without allowing bitterness to corrupt his future. Then the day came when I called his name before the courts of Egypt. And in a single moment, what had once been dismissed became the answer to the famine of an entire nation. Do you see? What is revealed by me is not a performance. It is the timely confirmation of heaven upon one who has been prepared in secret. Remember also Hannah, the woman whose heart ached in barrenness, misunderstood many times, weeping in the temple until even the priest thought she was drunk. No one fully understood the depth of her silent cries. But I did. I heard her broken whispers as a complete song. And from those tears, I gave Samuel a child who was not only an answer to a mother, but a gift to an entire generation. What I am doing in your life is often like this. What begins as a personal wound becomes a blessing far greater than what you originally asked for. And as Mordecai once sat at the king's gate, overlooked and unhonored, yet in time the king himself commanded that his name be proclaimed in the streets. So it is with you. What is done in secret is never absent from heaven's record. I do not forget the one who sits at the gate, nor do I overlook the one who keeps a pure heart when others see only the surface. So do not be afraid if the waiting stretches a little longer. What is coming is not a shallow reward meant to soothe impatience, but a holy unveiling shaped by maturity, so that when I lift you, you will not lose yourself. I am calling you into a new season, not with the posture of one demanding to be seen, but of one who has been formed. Now, as the light grows stronger upon your life, and the atmosphere around your soul has begun to change, I ask you to remain gentle, to continue loving the secret place, to cherish the hours known only between you and me, for it is there that you have become the person I can trust. Therefore, be at peace. My child, heaven's record over your life has not been closed. It is being opened. Your name is not lost among countless prayers. It is spoken clearly by me. And in this hour, I speak over your soul, not a delay, but the final preparation before the season of reward. Stand firm, for the day of unveiling is drawing near. Keep your heart pure, for what I entrust to you will carry sacred weight. Continue in faithfulness, for what has been written in tears will be read again in glory. And you will see, I have not been silent, I have been working. I have not been distant, I have been drawing near. And what I have seen in you all along is now moving toward the moment it will be revealed, before the angels and within the days of your life. My beloved child, let your heart grow still within my words. For there are things that can only be understood when you stop striving to understand and instead choose to trust. Look to Mary, the young woman who carried within her a promise far greater than human comprehension. No one could explain what was happening to her, and no earthly perspective could perceive the plan I had placed upon her life. People questioned, whispered, even judged. Yet, in the midst of it all, she held onto a heart of obedience, and it was that quiet obedience that became the doorway through which history was rewritten. As it is written, "Behold, the maidservant of the Lord, let it be to me according to your word." Luke 1:38. So what creates greatness is not complete understanding, but complete surrender. Do you see? My child, when you obey even without being understood, you are stepping into the same current that has carried the chosen ones throughout time. So do not be surprised when you feel as though you are walking a path few can walk with you, a journey that words cannot fully explain to others. What I am doing in you is not a story easily told, it is a chapter being written through trust between you and me. You may feel misunderstood among the voices around you, but in my eyes, you are standing exactly where an entrusted soul should be. And in those moments when you say yes without external confirmation, you are signing a covenant that heaven will never forget. There have been times when you asked within yourself, in a sigh no one heard, "Father, why must I go through so much?" And I answered you not with rebuke, but with a hidden truth. I am placing within you a weight of glory. For I do not build eternal things upon fragile foundations. As it is written, the house built on the rock stood firm when the rain fell. The floods came, and the winds blew. Matthew 7:25. So, what you have endured is not to break you, but to establish you. I am deepening your foundation not through praise, but through testing, not through comfortable light, but through seasons where you must stand still in the storm. Look back over your journey, and you will see you have learned to pray when no one told you to pray. You have learned to love when love was not returned. You have learned to remain faithful when no one recognized you. These are not small things. They are the foundation stones I am laying into the structure of your life. For it is written, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." Luke 16:10. So every quiet choice you have made is preparing you for greater responsibility that I will entrust to you. My child, there is a principle in my ways that does not change. Before I reveal, I conceal. Before I display, I cover. Not because I wish to hold you back, but because I desire to protect you. Hiddenness is not punishment, it is shelter. I hide you from comparisons that would distort your heart, from noise that would confuse your hearing, from eyes that are not yet ready to understand you. In that secret place, I teach you to hear my voice above all others. As it is written, "Be still, and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. So, silence is not emptiness. It is a classroom where you are being trained. Remember Elijah, who did not encounter me in the great wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a gentle whisper. There are things I speak only when you are no longer distracted by noise. And it is in those hidden seasons that I have spoken to you, truths you would never have heard had you remained among the crowds. What I place within you in secret is always deeper than what I will reveal in public. And now, as the season of covering comes to its completion, I begin to draw back the curtain, not in haste, but with precision. What you have done in quietness is beginning to find its way into the light, not for your exaltation, but to demonstrate that my righteousness is true. For it is written, He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, Psalm 37:6. So what is right that you have held will not remain buried forever. I have never forgotten anything you have done in me. Every time you helped someone without speaking of it, every prayer you lifted up for others without anyone knowing, every moment you restrained your lips from speaking what should not be said, every tear you shed out of compassion, all of it I have kept as precious seed. And those seeds do not only produce outward results, but they form something within you, a maturity, a spiritual authority, an influence that cannot be imitated. For your reward is not only in what you receive, but in who you become. I am lifting you, not merely in position, but in essence. And when I entrust you with greater things, they will not lead you astray, because you have learned to fix your eyes on me, not on what I give. As it is written, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God, Matthew 5-8. So your heart refined through hidden seasons becomes the place where I continue to reveal myself. Therefore, my child, continue to walk in peace. Do not regret the days of hiddenness, for they have formed you. Do not fear what is coming, for you have been prepared. And when I open what I have ordained, you will no longer ask, Why did I go through all of this? But you will understand that every moment carried purpose. For I am not only writing your story, I am writing a part of my eternal plan through your quiet obedience. My beloved child, listen carefully, for what I am about to say is not merely comfort, it is preparation. As the season draws near when I bring you into the light, do not think it is only a time of praise or recognition. No, it is a season of unveiling, a time when everything, both what is true and what is unfinished, is brought into the light. My light does not only glorify, it also reveals. Yet do not be afraid, for I do not expose you to shame you, but to heal you completely. As it is written, There is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, Luke 8:17. So, what I do is not to accuse, but to liberate the parts of you that were once overlooked, the hidden places you have not yet dared to face. These are the very places I desire to touch, so that my light will not only shine upon you outwardly, but penetrate deeply into your soul. Understand this clearly. My child, I do not only honor what you have done right, I also reach into the places where you have been wrong, not to count your faults, but to restore you. For I do not seek perfection as the world defines it. I seek a faithful heart, a soul that returns to me even after falling. As it is written, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise, Psalm 51:17. So it is your softness that allows me to continue my work within you. When the light comes, you will not be shattered, you will be healed. Not condemned, you will be renewed. And my child, do not misunderstand the reward I am preparing for you. Your reward is not found in the change of others, nor in people finally recognizing you or treating you rightly. The true reward is the expansion within you, a broader vision, a deeper heart, a stronger soul. I am opening your eyes to see that nothing you do in me is ever meaningless. No act born of love is ever lost. No choice that stands for truth ever falls into emptiness. As it is written, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where they do not decay, Matthew 6:20. So what you are building is not temporary, it is eternal treasure. When you speak a gentle word and it is not returned, you may think it disappears. Yet it is being preserved, like a seed in the unseen realm. When you choose humility in the midst of misunderstanding, when you remain silent instead of defending yourself, you are releasing a fragrance that only I fully perceive. As it is written, we are the fragrance of Christ, 2 Corinthians 2:15. So what you carry is not always understood by the world, but it is always cherished by me. And when you keep your heart upright in the midst of confusion, you are not merely overcoming a situation, you are being refined to carry the greater responsibilities I have appointed for you. Remember Esther, who was placed in the position of queen, not merely to enjoy honor, but to rise in a decisive moment. Yet before that moment came, she endured hidden preparation, long seasons of shaping that no one noticed. When the time arrived, she was not only outwardly beautiful, but inwardly strong, able to carry the weight of saving an entire people. Do you see? What I am doing in you is the same. I am not only preparing a position, I am preparing the person. So do not fear the light that is coming. Do not withdraw from the unveiling I am bringing. Allow me to touch every part of you, both the parts you take pride in and the parts you once wished to hide. For when I complete my work, you will not only be seen by the world, but you will be free within yourself. And that is true glory, not being seen outwardly, but being made whole inwardly. My beloved, continue to walk with integrity. Continue to love when it is difficult. Remain humble when misunderstood. And stay steadfast when everything around you shifts. For every choice you make is shaping a life capable of carrying greater things without being broken. And when I enlarge you, you will no longer live to seek recognition, but to reflect me. Then your reward will no longer be what you receive, but who you become, a soul wide enough to carry glory without being weighed down by it, a heart pure enough for light to pass through without distortion. Be at peace, my child. The light that is coming is not to end you, but to complete you, and within that light, you will clearly see that nothing you have gone through was meaningless. It has all been the path I used to lead you into your eternal purpose. My beloved child, open your heart to this word, for I am leading you to look again at what you once considered small, yet carries eternal weight. Do you remember Elisha, the one who followed Elijah, not as a figure of prominence, but as a quiet servant, pouring water on his master's hands day after day? Walking in humility without recognition, the world did not acknowledge him, did not celebrate him, but I saw. And at the appointed time, when Elijah was taken up, the one who seemed unknown received a double portion of the anointing. As it is written, please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me, 2 Kings 2:9. And it was granted, not because of a single moment, but because of a life of faithfulness. Do you see? Not a single day Elisha lived in obedience was wasted. Everything accumulated, becoming a spiritual force waiting for the right moment to be revealed. So, my child, what you are doing in silence today is not disappearing. It is being gathered, stored, and sanctified into strength for the moment I call you forward. No sacrifice is wasted. No drop of sweat falls without meaning. As it is written, whoever sows generously will also reap generously, 2 Corinthians 9-6. So, what you sow in faithfulness will not remain small. It will become far greater than you can imagine. But my beloved child, I know there is a quiet hesitation within you when you think about being brought into the light, a fear that everything will be exposed. Hear me clearly. When I reveal, I do not shame you. I simply remove the layers of falsehood that the world and circumstances have unknowingly placed upon you, so that you may see yourself as I have always seen you. For it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, John 8. 32. So my light does not come to condemn, but to liberate. I do not break you. I free you from what never truly belonged to you. You have never been invisible. Even when you felt that way, you do not need to strive to be noticed, nor become a different version of yourself to be accepted. I have seen you from the beginning. I loved you before you understood it, and I have placed upon your life a mark that no one can erase. When I bring you into the light, it is not a reward for performance, but the evidence of a covenant, a confirmation that what you have lived in me is real. As it is written, I have loved you with an everlasting love, Jeremiah 31:3. So your worth does not come from what you do, but from the love I placed upon you from the beginning. Now you are stepping into a new threshold, a season where your voice will be heard. Not because you strive to speak, but because I give your words weight. A season where your obedience is no longer only personal, but becomes influence that touches others. Yet remember this, you are not called to be known, but to carry light. You are not placed to be seen, but to help others see me. As it is written, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. So the purpose of your unveiling is not to exalt you, but to let my light shine through you. Remember Joshua, who stood beside Moses for many years, remaining in the camp when others left, learning to dwell in my presence when no one noticed. And then the day came when I called him to lead an entire people. He did not become someone else in that moment. He simply stepped into what I had prepared long before. Do you see? Outward change is always the result of an inward work I have already completed. And I give you this promise, not as temporary comfort, but as an eternal assurance. When I lift you up, no hand can pull you down, because I am the one who has set my seal upon you. As it is written, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. So the position I give you does not depend on human approval, but on my purpose. In the days ahead, you will see doors open that you did not pursue. Invitations come from places you never imagined. You will realize that grace can restore the years you thought were lost. And when these things unfold, remember this deeply. It is not your achievement, but my evidence that I have seen every step you took, remembered every tear you shed, and preserved every yes you spoke in secret. Therefore, my beloved child, prepare your heart not with anxiety, but with rest. Stand firmly in who you truly are without pretense, without hiding. For when you step into my light, you will not be turned into someone else. You will become fully yourself. And in that wholeness, you will understand that everything you have gone through was not meaningless, but the very path I used to lead you into the promise I placed upon your life from the beginning. My beloved, lift up your head and let this light touch your eyes. For what I am speaking now is no longer comfort for your weary days. It is a declaration inscribed with the authority of heaven. This moment is not ordinary as you think, for in the unseen realm, what once stood still is beginning to move. What was once shut is now opening, and what once held you back is being released. The door behind you has closed not because you failed, but because you have completed your season of training. As it is written, see, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up, Isaiah 43:19. So what you are entering is not a continuation of the past, but the unfolding of an entirely new season. Every day you walked in silence. Every night you held your heart steady without letting go. Every time you stood firm when no one stood with you, none of it has been wasted. It has all been gathered, refined, and now becomes the key that opens the gate I have prepared. You thought you were merely enduring, but I was building. You thought you were only waiting, but I was shaping you. And now I declare over your life, the season of hiddenness has ended. and the season of elevation has begun. Not first an outward promotion, but an elevation in authority, a transformation not only of position, but of being. You are no longer standing at the edge watching others be chosen. You are no longer an observer of doors opening for others. You are the one who is called. You are the one I have seen all along, the one I have prepared. And now I am bringing you into what I have ordained. As it is written, you did not choose me, but I chose you. John 15:16. So the place you are stepping into is not the result of competition, but the confirmation of my choosing. What you receive does not come from striving to enter, but from a word spoken from the beginning. Do you know this? My child, every yes you have spoken in silence is not a small response. It is a sound that echoes in heaven. What you thought no one heard has been shaking unseen realms. And now those sounds are gathering together, no longer scattered, but becoming a spiritual thunder that opens doors no power can shut. As it is written, what he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. Revelation 3-7. So when I open for you, you have nothing to fear before you. My child, this is not merely a change of position. This is a shift of season within your very identity. You are no longer only one who endures trials, but one who is sent to carry solutions. You are no longer only one who keeps the fire in secret, but one who ignites it in dark places. You are no longer merely surviving difficult seasons. You are becoming a bearer of life, releasing it to others. As it is written, you shall be called the repairer of broken walls. Isaiah 58:12. So the calling you are stepping into is not only for yourself, but for the territories I will place beneath your feet. Remember Joshua, who stood behind Moses for many years, learning obedience, learning presence, learning to stand still when it was not yet his turn. Then the day came when I spoke, Moses, my servant is dead. Now therefore arise. Go over Joshua 1:2. That moment was not a random beginning. It was the continuation of a process long prepared. And so it is with you. What I am calling you into is not entirely new, but something that has been formed within you through every season you have walked through. Therefore, do not carry your old mindset into this new season. Do not step forward with the fear that you are not enough, nor with the memory that you were once overlooked. Those things belong to the door that is already closed. I am bringing you into a new space where you are no longer defined by your past, but by my present word over you. As it is written, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. 2 Corinthians 5:17. So you are no longer the person of former days. You are the person of a new season. Step forward, my beloved, not in haste, but in certainty. Speak, not to be heard, but to carry life. Act, not to prove yourself, but to fulfill what I have entrusted to you. For when I have placed you in position, you do not need to strive to keep it. I will keep you. And what I have begun in you, I will complete. Now rise in the authority I have given you. No longer standing at the sidelines. No longer merely watching you or in the flow. You are in the movement. And from this moment on, you will begin to see what you once could only believe. For I have spoken, and my word does not return void. And you will walk in the manifestation of that very word. My beloved child, listen even more deeply. For what you are sensing is not imagination, but a real movement in the unseen realm. Just as the wind shifts before the rain comes, the spiritual atmosphere around your life is changing. What once stood still is beginning to move. What was once restrained is being released. I am taking your name out of obscurity and placing it among those entrusted, not because you have asked loudly, but because you have proven deeply. While many seek the gaze of people, you have sought what is right before me, and that is why I can place upon you a greater responsibility. As it is written, whoever is faithful in little will be entrusted with much. Luke 16:10. So, what you have kept in secret is now opening doors in the open. My child, I am choosing you as a witness, not for your own name, but for a generation that needs to see that faithfulness is never wasted, that humility is never forgotten, that obedience always opens the door to glory at the right time. This generation is accustomed to speed and noise, but through you, I will reveal another way, the way of depth, of endurance, of steps that do not require immediate recognition, yet still carry true power. For it is written, do you see a man diligent in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Proverbs 22:29. So what I am preparing is not merely opportunity, it is position. There will come a time when you step into places you once could only pray about from a distance. Doors that were once closed will open without you knocking. People you once thought were beyond your reach will become those I appoint you to encounter. And when you stand there, you will not speak from your own confidence, but from the words I place within your mouth. As it is written, do not worry about what you will say, for the Holy Spirit will teach you what to say. Luke 12:12. So you do not need to prepare in the way the world prepares, for I have been preparing you all along. You will not need to compete for position, for I have already prepared a place for you. You will not need to knock, for I am the one who opens the door. As it is written, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. Revelation 3-8. So what is coming does not depend on human approval, but on my purpose. And when I open, no force can prevent it. My child, what is about to unfold in your life will not come through strained effort as before, but through grace. What you once had to hold together by your own strength, I will now sustain for you. Where you once had to prove yourself, I will allow others to testify. The rumors you once endured, I will turn into testimony, not because you need to be justified, but because my glory must be revealed through you. For it is written, he will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, and your justice like the noonday. Psalm 37:6. So what you have preserved will no longer remain hidden. I have seen the times you bowed your head to keep peace instead of reacting. I have seen the times you remained silent to protect my name instead of defending yourself. I have seen you choose the smaller place so that I could be made greater. And now, I will do the opposite. I will lift your head, not for your self-exaltation, but so that all may see that I am with you. As it is written, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Luke 14:11. So your humility has not diminished you. It has prepared you to be lifted. You will no longer stand in a waiting line, nor carry the feeling of delay or being left behind. I am bringing you forward not by chance, but by intention set in place before you understood. For it is written, I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for harm. Jeremiah 29:11. So your journey is not a sequence of coincidences, but a guided plan unfolding step by step. Therefore, my beloved, keep your heart in rest without becoming passive. Walk with gentleness without becoming weak. Remain open to receive, yet never forget the one who gives. For when I place you in a new position, you will carry not only opportunity, but responsibility, not only revelation, but influence. And in all of this, you will come to understand that what I give is not only to lift you, but to lift many others through you. Be ready, my child. What I am doing is no longer a distant promise, it is beginning to unfold. And when you step into it, You will know that you did not arrive there by your own strength, but that I have led you, sustained you, and now placed you exactly where you are meant to be in this appointed time. My beloved child, let this word be engraved deep within your heart, like an unbreakable seal. When I lift you up, no force can pull you down. When I mark your life, no hand can erase it. When I declare, no voice has the authority to overturn it. What I am opening for you does not originate from man, and therefore it cannot be limited by man. For it is written, what the Lord opens, no one can shut. Revelation 3:7. So the season before you is not something that can be taken away. It is secured by me. You are no longer standing at the threshold as a gatekeeper. You are being entrusted with the keys, no longer merely following behind. You are being positioned to lead. But understand this clearly. My child, what I give you is not only blessing to enjoy, but influence to carry. I am not only enlarging your circumstances, I am enlarging your inner capacity. And when you speak, your words will no longer be light as before, but will carry the weight of my presence. When you pray, unseen realms will move. When you stand firm, the atmosphere around you will shift. As it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. So your words will no longer be mere sound, but instruments I use to build. I am renewing your name, not so that you become prominent in the way the world seeks, but so that you are rightly recognized in my light. Those who once saw you through limited vision will begin to perceive what they overlooked, not because you changed to fit their expectations, but because I am revealing what I placed within you from the beginning. Yet when this happens, keep your heart low. Do not let elevation cause you to forget your source. As it is written, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. So it is in humility that the anointing upon you will increase rather than diminish. Remember David, who was overlooked among his brothers, passed over when the prophet came to anoint a king. Yet I chose him from the place no one considered. And even after he was anointed, he returned to the fields, tending sheep, remaining faithful in the unseen. When the time came, I did not only bring him out of the field, I placed him upon the throne. But what sustained him was not the crown, but the humility that had been formed within him. Do you see? True elevation is always accompanied by a deeper posture of humility within the soul. My child, this is the season when your words begin to create movement, not because you strive to influence, but because I am breathing life into what you speak. When you speak, people will not only hear you, they will sense me. When you touch, there will be healing, not because of your hand, but because of my presence flowing through you. When you intercede, unseen barriers will begin to break. For it is written, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. James 5:16. So what you carry is no longer merely personal, it is authority. You will no longer have to search for opportunities as you once did. Doors will begin to find you, for I have already written your name into places you have never imagined. You will step into spaces that have been prepared in advance, not through striving, but through my leading. And when you rise into them, you will realize that what I once spoke over you is no longer a distant promise. It is alive before your eyes. My beloved, I know there were times when you thought you were just an ordinary person, a small part within the vast flow of life. But I say to you, you are not accidental. You are part of a plan I have hidden within time. I have led you through winding paths not to delay you, but to deepen you. For those who carry great responsibility cannot be built superficially. As it is written, suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character. Hope, Romans 5:3, fear. So, what you have gone through has not slowed you. it has made you stronger. The scars you carry are not marks of failure, they are seals of strength. They tell the story of a soul that has fallen but did not quit, that remained silent without becoming bitter, that chose to love without calculation. And it is these very things that make you capable of carrying what I am about to entrust to you. For I do not give authority to one who has not learned to guard the heart. So step into this season with deep awareness. You are not only being lifted, you are being entrusted. Not only being seen, but being assigned. Not only being given, but being used. And in all of this, remember always, all glory belongs to me. It is in this understanding that you will remain steady, unshaken, not losing yourself, but becoming more complete in what I have destined for you from the beginning. My beloved child, engrave this truth deeply within your soul. True authority is not granted through titles or outward position, but is formed through the days you remained faithful when no one was watching. And you have walked through such days. You stood when it would have been easier to surrender. You chose what was right when it would have been more convenient to choose otherwise. You kept your heart tender when circumstances could have hardened it. Therefore, what I place upon you now is not a random reward, it is the confirmation of a process. I clothe you with a new garment, not one of restraint, but of commissioning. As it is written, put on the new self, Ephesians 4:24. So what you now carry is not merely an appearance, but a renewed identity. I place into your hands the seal of entrustment not as an empty symbol, but as a living spiritual reality. From this moment, you are no longer only called faithful, but one to whom I can commit responsibility. This means you carry not only my presence, but my assignment. When you walk, I walk with you. When you speak in obedience, I affirm your words. As it is written, the Lord your God is with you wherever you go, Joshua 1:9. So you no longer walk alone, nor do you need to rely on your own strength. Therefore, my child, step forward. Do not look back as one still uncertain. What lies behind you has fulfilled its purpose. The lessons you have learned are now sealed like a completed chapter. Before you is a light you have not yet entered, not because it is new to me, but because you have now grown ready to step into it. As it is written, forgetting what is behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead, Philippians 3:13. So, what you must hold is not the memory of the past, but your focus on what I am opening before you. You are no longer one who waits to be chosen, you are one who is being sent. This changes your position entirely from one who anticipates to one who carries. Heaven has not only seen you, it has entrusted you, and that trust does not come from perfection, but from your perseverance in seasons where no one applauded. What you have gone through is not the whole story. It is only the beginning of the glorious phase you are now entering. Walk in dignity, not as self-exaltation, but as the awareness that you belong to me. Walk in peace, not as outward quietness, but as inward stability. Walk in gratitude because you understand that nothing you are receiving comes from your own merit. For now you no longer live in the if of doubt, but in the when of fulfillment, not in a distant will be, but in the living present of what is unfolding. My child, this is the season when I reveal openly what you have held in secret. What I spoke long ago is now coming into fullness. As it is written, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Luke 14:11. So your humility in the night has not been forgotten. It is becoming your elevation in the daylight. But remember, this lifting is not for you to take position, but to carry light, not to be glorified, but to reflect me. Remember Moses, who tended sheep in the wilderness for many years, seemingly forgotten by history. Yet it was in that hidden place that I formed within him a heart humble enough to stand before kings and lead a nation. When I called him back to Egypt, he was no longer a fugitive. He was one sent with authority. Do you see? Transformation does not come from new circumstances, but from a new person formed within me. Therefore, my beloved child, go. Do not wait for another sign. Do not seek further confirmation from people. I have spoken, and my word is sufficient. When you step forward, you will see doors open. When you speak, you will feel the weight of your words. When you act, you will see my presence going before you. And when you look back, you will no longer see yourself as one who waited, but as one who was guided into the right moment. You will understand that everything that happened was not to delay you, but to prepare you. And in the light of this new season, you will realize the greatest reward is not what you receive, but who you have become, a faithful soul, entrusted by me, now sent to carry my glory into the places I lead you. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this, you are not merely a listener, you are chosen to live daily in the presence of God's Word. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any spiritual messages. Amen. My beloved child, there are moments when you may feel as though you are drifting through an undefined emptiness, like a leaf carried by the wind without knowing where it will finally come to rest. But I tell you the truth, this is not wandering without purpose, but a journey of return, a return to the exact place I have ordained for you from the very beginning. Before you ever came to know yourself, I knew you. Before you took your first step, I had already prepared the path for your soul. As it is written, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Therefore, when you find yourself unable to understand what is happening, remember that your lack of understanding does not alter my divine ordering. And in this quiet unfolding, I am drawing you away from places that do not belong to you, even those you once believed were your resting places. I am loosening every bond, every misaligned expectation, every dream that did not originate from me, in order to bring you back to your original point where you no longer need to strive to fit, because I created you to belong there, like a potter reshaping a vessel that has been distorted, not to destroy it, but to restore its intended form. I am doing the same with you. As it is written, like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand. Jeremiah 18:6. You are not abandoned in this process. You are being reshaped in love. There may be times when silence feels prolonged, as though heaven itself has fallen quiet. But I have never ceased speaking. I am speaking through what you do not yet understand, through closed doors, through paths that seem blocked. For my guidance does not always come as a clear and audible voice. Sometimes it comes as a divine realignment. You think you have lost direction, but in truth, I am turning the compass of your soul back toward its true alignment. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land. Isaiah 58:11. Even in the wilderness, you are still being led. Look deeper still, and you will begin to see a greater vision forming before you, a vast ocean stretching out ahead, not to overwhelm you, but to reveal a new horizon. And upon those waters stands a vessel waiting, not just any vessel, but one I have prepared specifically for you, formed through years of your quiet perseverance, strengthened by every moment you chose to believe when nothing was visible, and upheld by obedience that no one else saw. This is your spiritual inheritance. As it is written, whoever is faithful in very little will also be faithful in much. Luke 16:10. That vessel is the reward of your hidden faithfulness. Yet, I do not call you to it as one standing at the edge in fear of the waves. I call you to step onto it as one who carries authority. You are not a passenger. You are the one who holds the helm. I am not giving you a position to grasp in trembling uncertainty, but a responsibility to operate in unity with me. I can do all things through him who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. This is not merely comfort, but confirmation of the strength I have already placed within you. Remember a story that many often overlook in its depth. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, he did not fail because the waves were too great, but because he shifted his gaze away from me. Yet the true miracle was not that he began to sink, but that I immediately reached out and caught him. O you of little faith! Why did you doubt? Matthew 14:31. You see, even in your instability, I remain there. And if one as fearful as Peter could be transformed into a rock, then you, who have walked through the furnace of refinement, can be made even more steadfast. Therefore, do not allow transient emotions to define your journey. The waves may rise, and the winds may blow, but you were not called to be carried by them. You were called to walk upon them. You were not created to merely react to circumstances, but to carry my presence into every circumstance. When you walk in this awareness, you will see that wherever you place your steps, chaos begins to recede, and order is established. My beloved child, understand this clearly. I am not only bringing you to a destination, I am forming you into a person. The greatest reward is not the vessel, but the one who is able to steer it, not the position, but the being who can stand firm within that position. For if I were to give you everything without preparing you, it would become a burden. But when I prepare you first, everything I entrust to you becomes a natural extension of who you are becoming. Therefore, do not grieve over what has passed, nor cling to what I have already removed. For if you continue holding space for the old, there will be no room for the new. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. This newness is not merely a change in circumstances, but a new dimension of your very identity in me. Now, I stand before you, not to ask whether you are ready, but to remind you that I have already prepared you. Everything you have walked through, the moments you thought were failure, the seasons you believed you were forgotten, have been essential fragments in shaping who you are today. You have not arrived here by accident. You have arrived here as one who has been led. Step onto your vessel. My beloved, do not look back at the old shore. Do not wait for the waters to become still before you move. For if you wait for that, you will never leave the harbor. Move when I say go. Stand when I say stand. And trust that in your obedience, I will carry the responsibility of your journey. For the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, Exodus 14:14. And when one day you look back, you will no longer see yourself as one who drifted aimlessly, but as one who was positioned. You will no longer say that you were lost, but that I led you. And in the light of that understanding, your soul will find rest, not because the journey has ended, but because you have discovered your true place in me. My beloved child, listen to me in a stillness deeper than the noise within your heart. There have been long seasons when you became accustomed to simply keeping yourself afloat each day, an effort not to be pulled under. Each breath a struggle against waves that seem never to end. I have seen those moments. I have seen every time you believed you no longer had strength to continue. Yet I speak to you now from the unshakable foundation of eternity. The season of merely surviving to exist has come to an end. I am opening before you a new dimension where you no longer live to escape the storm, but to step into the authority of navigating within it. As it is written, you will no longer be called forsaken, but my delight is in you. Isaiah 62:4. Spiritually illuminated, meaning For I have not only rescued you from deep waters, I am training you to walk upon the very waters you once feared. You were never designed to drift passively with the currents of circumstance, but to become the one who holds the direction. You are not a fallen leaf. You are the one entrusted with the helm of a spiritual journey I established before time began. And now you ask me quietly within your heart, Father, where am I to go? I do not answer you with a distant location, nor do I point you toward a physical destination. Instead, I whisper into the depth of your soul, look within, for the map I have given you is not written with human ink, but engraved with the living light of my spirit within you. As it is written, I will put my laws in their hearts, and I will write them on their minds. Hebrews 8:10. This map is not outside of you, it is alive within you. Each time you pause in my presence, that light becomes clearer. Each time you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to pain, your direction realigns like a compass, returning to true north. And each time you dare to say, I believe, in the face of what is unseen, I open another pathway upon your journey. You are not constructing your future alone. I am revealing it step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. I want you to understand this deeply. There is no moment in your life that is accidental. Even the paths you once thought were meaningless cycles, I have woven into a complete design. The times you believed you were lost were, in truth, the very moments I was correcting your course back to the axis of your divine calling. All things work together for good for those who love God, Romans 8:28, is not a vague comfort. It is the governing law of the spiritual reality into which I am leading you. My child, no longer see your life as a sequence of struggles to endure. See it as a journey of expansion unfolding before you. I am not only saving you from sinking, I am entrusting you with the ability to steer. I am not merely lifting you above the waters, I am placing you in the position of one who guides. And I am not standing at a distance watching you overcome, I am within you, as the very breath that steadies you amid every movement and every wave. Remember the story of Joshua when he stood before the Jordan River. The waters did not stop flowing until the feet of those carrying the Ark of the Covenant touched the river. This was not because the water itself changed, but because my presence made a way. As soon as the priests who carried the ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the waters coming down from above stopped flowing. Joshua 3:15-16. You see, obedience always opens a path before it becomes visible to the natural eye. Therefore, I am calling you to step forward, not in the trembling of one who is uncertain, but in the awareness of one who has been entrusted with authority. You are not walking alone, nor are you walking in darkness. You are walking in the living light that dwells within you. I am not giving you an easy journey. I am giving you a meaningful one, where every decision you make carries weight within my eternal design. Now I place my hand upon your mind to still the noise of confusion, and I establish my peace in your heart as an unshakable foundation. For when your mind is still, you will hear my voice clearly. When your heart is steady, you will see my direction clearly. And when you trust, you will walk as one no longer bound by fear. You are no longer merely someone trying to survive each day. You are the one sent to shape the flow. You are the one holding the helm of a journey I wrote before you were formed. And as you begin to move in this awareness, you will see that storms are no longer enemies, but foundations upon which you recognize my power working within you. Go forth, my beloved child, not because you have seen everything, but because you have heard me. And once you have heard me, you will never truly be lost again. My beloved child, let your heart settle like still waters after the wind has ceased. For there are things that can only be heard when the inner struggle has quieted. The sea before you is not a symbol of threat, but a doorway of expansion. It only appears fearful when you stand outside it. looking through the lens of limitation. But when you enter into my will, what you once called a barrier will transform and become a pathway. As it is written, he spoke and raised a stormy wind, then he hushed the storm to a whisper. Psalm 107 to 25:29. You see, both wind and waves are never beyond my sovereign authority. Nothing within your journey is meaningless, including those moments that once made you tremble. I do not always remove the storm. Rather, I teach you to walk within it without losing awareness of me. And now I speak this to open the eyes of your soul, what you once called resistance. I am now using to lift you higher. What once caused you to be shaken, I am transforming into propulsion for your journey. For in this season, you are no longer defined as one who merely reacts to circumstances, but as one who carries spiritual authority to bring direction within circumstances. You are no longer being pulled by the current. You are learning to stand firm within the very flow of it and guide it according to my will. I did not create you to continually ask, "What is happening?" but to learn to ask, "Father, where are you leading me through this?" When you begin to see all things through this light, you will realize there is no longer anything random. Every movement carries meaning. Every shift carries purpose. And every empty space is preparation. My beloved child, do not seek the map of others to impose upon your life. I did not create two souls with the same path. As it is written, I have called you by your name, you are mine. Isaiah 43:1. Different identities carry different journeys, and the spiritual inheritance of each one cannot be duplicated. There are those appointed to stand along quiet shores, but you are appointed to go into deeper waters where the wandering souls of others will need the light I have placed within you. That is why I have led you through seasons that appeared to be loneliness, not to weaken you, but to purify you from dependence on external voices. I have taught you to wait when you wanted to run, to be silent when you wanted to speak, and to stand firm when you desired to retreat. None of this was delay, it was training. For I am forming within you a kind of person who can hear me clearly in the midst of noise, and who is not shaken by what the eyes can see. Understand this: the vessel I have entrusted to you is not like the vessels of others. Some are designed for calm waters. Some are meant to stay near the shore. But you were formed for deep waters, where few are willing to go, where the light of my presence reaches the hidden places of the world that others avoid looking upon. As Peter was called out of the boat, so you are called out of your comfort into the deeper reality of living faith, Matthew 14:29. And I place in your hands a living compass not made of metal, but formed by my presence within you. The first coordinate I inscribe upon your journey is peace. Not peace as a passing emotion, but peace as a state of anchoring in me. When you lose direction, do not scatter your steps in many directions. Return to this peace. For everything that comes from me will lead you back into peace. And anything that pulls you away from it does not originate from me. As it is written, my peace I give to you, John 14:27. This is the mark of a rightly aligned journey. Peace is not the final destination. It is the checkpoint on every step of the way. The second coordinate I place before you is my promise. Not a single word, but a chain of words I have spoken into your soul throughout your journey. You may have thought some of them were forgotten, but nothing that comes from my mouth falls to the ground without fulfillment. As it is written, my word will not return to me empty, Isaiah 55:11. Each word is a luminous point upon the map of your life. When you look back, my beloved child, you will see that what once appeared scattered and disconnected was in truth being woven into a complete and coherent design. The turns that felt like detours were never deviations, but divine adjustments of direction to protect you from what was not yet appointed for your time. The silent seasons were never the absence of my voice, but the very moments in which I was continuing to draw the unseen portions of your path into being. And now, as every point has been connected into a unified whole, I speak to you with the authority of the one who has gone before you in all things. My child, go out into the deep, not in the fear of one who does not know what lies ahead, but in the steady assurance of one who knows that the one who walks with you is the one who commands the seas. You are no longer the one standing on the shore looking outward. You have been placed within the very current of my movement. From this moment forward, every wind will no longer be something to avoid, but the very breath I use to carry you deeper into the destiny I prepared for you from the beginning. My beloved child, listen as if it were a voice echoing through the deepest chambers of your soul. Your vessel is no longer in a state of waiting. It has long been prepared through the very years you thought were delays. I have not wasted a single tear, overlooked a single step, nor been absent from a single night of your endurance. All of it has been the final weaving that brought you to this moment, the moment of commissioning. As it is written, the Lord will guide you continually, Isaiah 58:11. Spiritually unveiled, meaning, you are not standing before a random journey, but before a divine transition. This is no longer a season of mere endurance, but a season of authority. No longer a season of being carried by the current, but of directing within it. No longer a season of observing from the outside, but of stepping in and leading from within. Listen more deeply. The wind is no longer opposing you. It is awaiting your word. The waves are no longer resistance. They are preparing to open a way for you to pass through. And even the angels I have sent with you stand along your journey, not as observers, but as agents of heaven's protection over every movement you make. He will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. You are not walking alone, even when it feels as though you stand alone upon the deck. My beloved child, you may ask within yourself, how will you know that you are walking in the right direction across such a vast ocean? I do not leave you in uncertainty within that question. I place within you living signs that are more reliable than any visible map. When you find peace still present in the midst of strong winds, it is not coincidence. It is my confirmation within you. When you notice that the light in your eyes is no longer extinguished by fear, it is the evidence that you are moving in alignment with the path I have ordained. And when you cease asking, why is this happening to me? And begin to say, instead, I am grateful to be chosen for this journey. Then in that very moment you have stepped into the deeper layers of your destiny. My beloved child, this is not a journey for you to discover a new place, but a journey for you to recognize who you are in me. For when you know your identity, you will no longer be confused about your position. As it is written, you are mine, Isaiah 43:1. This declaration is not merely about belonging, it is the foundation upon which all direction is established. You will no longer need to guess, no longer wander in uncertainty, no longer be shaken by external changes. For the true compass is not found in the sea, nor in the waves, but in my living presence within you. When you fix your eyes upon me, everything else will naturally find its proper place. Remember Peter once again as he walked upon the water. What held him was not the stability of the sea, but the direction of his gaze toward me. As long as his eyes remained on me, he walked upon what others considered impossible. It was only when he turned his attention away that he felt the instability beneath him. This was not given to condemn him, but to teach you that direction determines movement. You were not created to live in doubt about your position. You were created to stand firm in the awareness that I have sent you. You are no longer one drifting in search of direction. You are the one who carries direction within your life. No longer a passenger carried by the current, but the captain of a journey I wrote before you were formed. As it is written, you did not choose me, But I chose you, John 15:16. That choice is not a burden, but a confirmation that your existence within this journey is not accidental. My beloved child, I am not only leading you across the sea, I am transforming you into one who understands the sea. I am not only carrying you through the wind, I am teaching you to hear the voice of the wind. I am not only bringing you to a destination, I am shaping you into the one who carries the destination within yourself. Therefore, step onto your vessel with an unshakable peace. Not because everything is clearly visible before you, but because you know the one who leads you never loses direction. And as you begin this journey in obedience, you will discover a deeper truth. You are no longer searching for your destiny, you are living within it. And from this point forward, I am no longer standing at a distance giving you direction, but I am within you as the very breath that sustains your steps, guiding each rhythm, each movement, each unfolding of the journey I established from eternity. My beloved child, rest your heart as you receive these words, for I am speaking to you not with the voice of pressure, but with the voice of divine establishment. The wind has shifted, and you are beginning to feel what your soul has never known before, the current alignment of my will. Not because you have mastered all things, but because I am bringing all things into their appointed order. As it is written, He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Psalm 107-29. Yet understand this more deeply. The same one who stills the storm is the one who sends the wind at its appointed time. Nothing within this movement is chaos, even when your eyes once perceived it as such. The wind is no longer a force against you. It has become the instrument lifting the very sails I placed within you before you even knew yourself. Your vessel, yes, my beloved child, is not something formed in a moment of haste. It has been constructed through seasons of refined faithfulness, shaped in times when you thought you were forgotten, and sealed with a patience known only to those who remained with me in hiddenness. I did not use the materials of urgency to build your destiny. I used the most enduring substance found within your soul. And now, that vessel is beginning to depart from its former shore. I know this feels both unfamiliar and astonishing to you, for you have grown accustomed to standing within the boundaries of what felt safe and familiar, even though those boundaries often contain more fear than freedom. You have become familiar with enduring storms, with carrying yourself through struggle, with believing that mere survival was the goal. But I speak truthfully to you, survival was never my destination for you. I did not create you to drift within the limits of anxiety. I created you to enter the ocean of peace, where my presence does not merely surround you, but envelops and directs every movement within you. As it is written, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, Philippians 4-7. This is not a temporary feeling of comfort, but a stable foundation upon which you are enabled to operate in spiritual authority. My child, I understand the confusion within you, not because you are weak, but because you are transitioning from an old nature into a new one. You have long lived in a mode of reaction, reacting to every wind, every shift, every fear. But now I am bringing you into a mode of leadership where you no longer merely react, but begin to perceive and to direct. This is why what you feel seems unfamiliar. For this peace is not the silence you once knew. It is a peace that carries authority. It is not the silence of avoidance, but the stability of one who knows they are held in the hand of the one who governs every wind and sea. As Noah's ark was not built to remain at the harbor, but to pass through the flood waters, so you were not created to remain within the boundaries of safety. You were formed to pass through deep waters, where my light does not only preserve you, but shines through you to those who are lost in direction. I will make you a light for the nations. Isaiah 49-6 is not a distant declaration. It is a reality taking shape within you. You were not given this vessel to escape storms, but to recognize that even within storms, I remain the Lord of all direction. You were not called to avoid difficulty, but to carry within you a stability through which others may find direction when they can no longer see the way. And I speak this to you with the certainty of the one who never fails in his word. You were not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are faithful. And that faithfulness is not the absence of failure, but the continual return to me after every weakness, not the absence of doubt, but the willingness to continue walking even while doubt lingers. It is precisely this that has formed the foundation of the vessel you are now stepping into. My beloved child, I am not placing you upon this vessel to burden you, but to bring you into the expansion of who you truly are becoming. For when I entrust you with responsibility, I also expand the capacity within you to carry it. There is nothing I assign to you that I do not simultaneously empower you to fulfill. Now, look ahead, my beloved child, and you will see that the sea is no longer a barrier, but the very space where my promises unfold. You will no longer ask, "Am I going in the right direction?" But instead, you will begin to hear my own confirmation over every step you take. For I am not distant in this journey, I am present within every movement you make. Release the familiarity of the old season, not with sorrow, but with gratitude, for it has brought you to this threshold. And as you cross it, you will no longer be one who merely struggles to survive. You will become one who carries life, direction, and my peace into every region of water where I lead you. For I, the one who commands the wind, I am also the one who holds your hand upon the helm, and you will not be lost. My beloved child, pause for a moment and look deeply upon what I am placing before you, not through the lens of old anxiety, but through eyes renewed in spiritual understanding. Upon this vessel there is nothing temporary, nothing accidental, nothing hastily placed. Every detail bears the imprint of eternal purpose. As it is written, to everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. And now, your appointed time has come into manifestation. I have placed the helm into your hands. But that helm is not merely an instrument of direction. It is a symbol of my living word within you. A word that does not shift with the waves or bend under the wind. I have placed within you a compass of peace, so that you will no longer seek direction from external chaos, but from the stillness within where I dwell. I have raised the sails of faith, not built upon what the eyes can verify, but upon the steadfastness of trust. And I have anchored this vessel in my own name, the name that does not waver, does not decay, and does not fail. Do you see, my child, that nothing in your life lacks divine design, even in the days you believed you were moving in the wrong direction? I was assembling every fragment into its rightful place. As a skilled craftsman does not waste material, neither have I wasted a single tear you have shed. You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle, Psalm 56:8. Nothing you have endured has been meaningless. All of it has been forming the structure of an eternal vessel. My beloved child, understand this deeper truth. The vessel upon which you stand is not merely a means of travel, it is a spiritual inheritance. It does not belong to a moment, but to eternity. It does not only carry you across waters, it carries you into the unfolding of the destiny I have placed upon your spiritual lineage. You are not merely one who uses it, you are the one who inherits it. And before you touch the helm to steer your course, I remind you of what has been deeply engraved throughout the process in which I have trained you. Every journey of true authority begins in silence. As it is written, be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10. You were not trained to speak before you listen, but to listen before you speak. You were not lifted up to dominate, but to discern. You were not placed in leadership for display, but to reflect my presence. Before you ever stood upon this vessel, I taught you how to bow. Before you took hold of the helm, I taught you how to release. Before you were sent forth, I taught you how to wait. And it is precisely these seemingly silent lessons that now become your true authority. For in my kingdom, the greatest is not the one who speaks the most, but the one who obeys the deepest. Look back at the shore one last time, my beloved child, not to cling to it, not to grieve it, but to recognize my faithfulness through every stage you have walked. The shore is where you learn to stand. The sea is where you are learning to trust. The shore is memory. The sea is promise in motion. And as you leave the shore, you are not losing what truly belongs to you. You are entering into what I have prepared beyond it. As it is written, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Hebrews 11:1. As you set out into the deep, you will understand this. Every wave was not sent against you, but to reveal the stability I have placed within you, one that circumstances cannot break. Every wind is not random, but confirmation that your vessel was never designed for stillness alone, but for movement within my purpose. And now I reveal to you a spiritual mystery that can only be understood as you walk with me. Your true home is no longer confined to any earthly shore. Your home is the place where I dwell. Abide in me, and I in you. John 15:4. This is the eternal structure of belonging. Every time you pray, I am not only hearing, I am laying deeper foundations within that home. Every time you forgive, I am not only acknowledging, I am expanding the inner space of your being. Every time you trust me in what you cannot yet see, I am strengthening the unseen pillars that keep you standing in every season. And now, my beloved child, I declare this over your journey. You are no longer one who wanders in search of shelter. You are one who carries shelter within you. Your home is no longer defined by geography, but by my presence within you. This is the mobile dwelling of the one who is sent forth, not bound by place, but anchored in me. So go, my beloved child, not as one who departs, but as one who is sent, not as one who loses ground, but as one who carries the very foundation of heaven in every step. And as you go, I go within you. I go before you, and I also go with you until the very fulfillment of the journey I wrote from before the foundations of time. My beloved child, allow me to speak to you in the deepest stillness of your soul, where the noise of fear and doubt no longer has a voice. Do not be troubled when I lead you far, for in every step I take with you, there is never any separation from home. I am not removing you from my covering. I am expanding my covering to encompass your entire journey. As it is written, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. Genesis 28:15. This is not merely a promise of presence, but a declaration that my presence itself is your dwelling place. Peace is not bound to a location, nor limited by space. It exists within me, and I am within you. My beloved child, therefore, you will never truly be alone. Even as you walk through seas that are unfamiliar, even as you enter spaces you once could not imagine, the light I have placed within you is not only to guide your steps, but to transform foreign places into spaces where spiritual life can breathe. Cold winds will no longer cause you to withdraw, for my presence within you warms every atmosphere. Darkness will no longer consume you, for wherever you go, the light does not merely accompany you, it radiates from within you. Every place where your feet rest is no longer emptiness, but a divine imprint of heaven established in time. As it is written, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. You do not carry light as something external. You are the vessel through which light is revealed. And therefore, Every stopping place of your journey is no longer coincidence, but the expansion of my kingdom through your life. Remember this clearly. My beloved child, no one can take the helm of your journey from you. I guide you. I whisper to you. I uphold you. But I do not remove the authority I have placed within you. For this is no longer a season in which you are merely learning to believe. This is the season in which you live within belief itself. You have passed through seasons I call the training of trust, where you learned to stand when nothing was visible, to move forward when nothing was understood. But now, you are no longer in the classroom. You are stepping into the lived reality of what has been formed within you. The righteous will live by faith, Romans 1:17, not occasionally believing, but living continuously within the flow of trust. My beloved child, other people may be present in your journey, but they are not the ones who define its direction. They may walk alongside you, but they do not control your compass. For I have inscribed that compass deep within your soul, in the gentle resonance of peace when you are aligned with my will, in the subtle inward pull when you begin to drift from it, and in the still, quiet yet unmistakable voice of my spirit within you. My beloved child, I call you now to rest in this truth. No wave rises beyond the boundary I have set. No wind moves outside the authority of my sovereignty. As it is written, even the wind and the sea obey him, Matthew 8:27. This is not only a declaration of authority over nature, but also a revelation of the order I have established over your entire journey. When you speak in unity with me, you will see circumstances begin to respond. When you pray from a place of peace, you will witness what was once chaotic begin to settle. And when you remain silent in trust, I will act in ways you have never yet seen, not because your words hold power in themselves, but because you are speaking from within alignment with my will. You are no longer one who is carried by the current. You are one who perceives the flow and stands in my authority to move within it. This is a profound transformation from passivity to participation, from reaction to awareness, from drifting to divine positioning. And understand this clearly. My beloved child, in my eyes, home and vessel are never opposites. They are one truth seen from two dimensions of the same reality. Home is where I dwell within you. The vessel is where I operate through you. Home is presence. The vessel is mission. Yet both originate from the same foundation. I am within you. Therefore, you no longer have to choose between staying and going. In me, these are no longer opposing realities. When you move according to my will, you are not leaving home, you are carrying home with you. And when you pause in my presence, you are not standing still. You are being repositioned for the next movement in your journey. As it is written, in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. You see, there is no moment in which you are separated from me, whether you are moving or still. My beloved child, I am not only leading you across the sea, I am forming you into one who understands the sea. I am not only keeping you from sinking, I am shaping you into one who carries peace within every movement. And as you live in this truth, you will come to a deeper realization. You are no longer searching for home. You are becoming the dwelling place of my presence wherever you go. Therefore, walk in peace, stand in peace, and remember this, in me, you are always at home, whether you are journeying to the farthest edge of the ocean or resting quietly in the midst of the wind. My beloved child, receive this not with the strain of intellectual effort, but with the stillness of a soul being reestablished in me. This is the season in which I establish spiritual justice over your journey, not justice as human judgment defines it, but the perfect ordering of the one who knows every path of time and every movement of the human heart. As it is written, the Lord is righteous, he loves righteousness, Psalm 11:7. And within this righteousness, nothing is overlooked. No act of faithfulness is forgotten, and no step of trust is ever diminished. What you once thought was hidden and unnoticed has already been inscribed in my eternal remembrance. The years in which you remained faithful while unseen have not vanished. They are being transformed into spiritual authority within your life. The days in which you held on to trust without visible assurance have not been erased. They are becoming the foundation of the wisdom you are now stepping into. And now, all of these things are no longer scattered. They are being gathered, refined, and brought into unity within a new identity I am placing upon you, the identity of a true heir in my kingdom. If we are children, then we are heirs. Romans 8:17. You are no longer standing at the edge of promise. You are standing within the inheritance itself. My beloved child, the heir does not live in urgency, for they know they are not forgotten or left behind. They do not panic in loss, for they know their true treasure is not held in the hands of others, but secured in me. They do not react in fear to storms, for they understand that even the waves are under my authority and therefore already included in the preparation of their journey. They do not seek escape from the storm, for they have been entrusted with the authority of peace within it. And I say this to you with clarity, that is who you are. You are no longer a passenger on someone else's vessel, carried along by directions you did not choose. You are no longer one watching your destiny pass by from a distance. You are the one placed in the position of captain over the very journey I have written for you from the beginning. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43:1. And within that name is the authority to step forward, to discern, and to navigate. My beloved child, the helm in your hands is not merely a symbol of responsibility, but the mark of trust I have placed upon you. I did not entrust it to you because you are self-sufficient, but because I am within you. I myself am the one who trained your hands through seasons that appeared to be delays, yet were in truth preparation for the stability you now carry. I myself am the one who taught you to listen in silence, so that now you can discern direction amid countless voices. My child, when the light of this new season begins to shine upon your journey, do not turn back to the old shore as if it were a place of refuge. For the shore is only the starting point, it was never meant to be the destination. As it is written, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. You were not formed to remain at the beginning, but to enter into the deeper waters I have already prepared for you. Let the wind of my spirit lead you not as a random force, but as the living guidance of my very presence operating within you. You will come to see that what you once perceived as uncertainty was in fact precise alignment. The spaces you once feared as emptiness were actually rooms I was opening for your growth in authority. My beloved child, do not fear distance from the shore. Do not fear the vastness of the sea. Do not fear waters you have never known. For in all of these, I remain the one who holds you. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Isaiah 43:2. There is no region where my presence cannot reach you, and no distance that my love cannot cover. And engrave this truth deeply within your heart as unshakable reality. Heaven is not only a place above it, is a living reality being formed within those who obey me. The kingdom of God is within you. Luke 17:21. When you walk in obedience, you are not merely moving toward heaven, you are carrying heaven into every place you go. Therefore, walk in a peace that cannot be shaken. Steer your vessel with the awareness that I am within you, and I am also before you. And as you move forward, you will realize this. You are not searching for your destiny. Your destiny is unfolding beneath your very steps in my light. My beloved child, rise now within the depths of your soul, not by the strength of your former self, but by the new understanding I am establishing within you. The seasons that have passed are no longer prisons. They are the places where you were refined. The tears you once shed are no longer signs of weakness. They are testimonies that I was there, quietly shaping you in unchanging love. As it is written, you have passed through the fire, yet you were not burned, and through the waters, yet you were not drowned. Isaiah 43:2. Spiritually unveiled, meaning you are no longer standing in the position of one who merely pleads to be rescued, but you are stepping into the position of one who is sent forth with an established authority. Now I speak to you in the voice of completion. Go out into the deep in majesty. O my heir, for all things are ready. There is no longer delay, no longer uncertain waiting, for everything required for your journey has already been placed within you and around you. You are not stepping out of lack, but out of the fullness I have quietly built within you through seasons you could not yet perceive. My beloved child, understand this deeply. The sea is no longer your opponent. It does not resist you. It reflects the authority I have placed within you. As it is written, He spoke, and the sea was calmed. Psalm 107:29. And now I expand this truth within you. It is not only that I speak over the sea, but that I am speaking through you. You once asked me to still the wind, because you thought peace was the absence of movement. But I have taught you something deeper. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is the presence of me within every movement. And now you are no longer merely one who seeks peace. You are the one through whom peace is revealed. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5-9. For they do not only receive peace, they carry peace into places of chaos. From this moment onward, you will witness a spiritual reversal. What once existed outside of you will begin to respond to what is now within you. The waves no longer define you. Instead, you carry my order into the waves. The wind is no longer something you fear, but something I use to propel you further into my will. And peace is no longer something you ask for from a distance, but the living reality moving through every breath you take. I have placed within your soul an unquenchable fire, not to consume you, but to make you a guiding light. As it is written, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. This fire does not only sustain you in the darkness, it also illuminates the path for those who are lost, leading them back toward my shore. Every word you speak in truth will no longer be merely speech, but the shaping of spiritual reality. Every act of love will no longer be merely a gesture, but the restoration of what has been broken within others. You were not saved merely to stand still. You were sent so that my life would flow through you into places that are dry and empty. Do you remember the silent nights through which I led you without answer? The empty spaces you thought meant abandonment? The seasons you believed I was not listening? None of those were my absence. They were seasons in which I taught you to hear with your soul rather than your emotions. Be still before the Lord, Psalm 37:7. That stillness is where authority is formed. My beloved child, a spiritual captain is never formed in ease. They are shaped in storms that once seemed designed to break them, but later become the very foundation upon which they stand firm. It is the strong winds themselves that have taught you to hold the helm not with fear, but with awareness of the one who dwells within you. Now I no longer call you a student, but one who has been entrusted with responsibility. I place upon you the mantle of authority not for display, but for faithful obedience. I entrust you with the sword of discernment, not to strike, but to recognize what is of me and what is not. I place upon you the crown of responsibility, not to burden you, but to reveal that you are walking in my trust. My beloved child, look back and understand this. Nothing that has happened was wasted. Every tear, every slow step, every moment you rose again after feeling as though you had fallen completely, all of it is now converging into a single confirmation that you are ready. And now I speak to you with eternal certainty. Go out into the deep, not as one being pushed, but as one being sent. For within you is everything needed so that the sea is no longer a test, but becomes the stage upon which my glory is revealed through your life. My beloved child, let these words sink into the deepest stillness of your heart, where no noise of memory or anxiety remains, only my presence re-establishing your identity. Do not look back any longer, for the past no longer holds authority over who you are. I have taken that authority from what was behind you and placed it into the new life I am forming within you. As it is written, forgetting what is behind and reaching forward to what is ahead. Philippians 3:13. Not because the past lacked meaning, but because it has fulfilled its role in shaping who you are today. You are no longer bound by what has been, for I have placed closure upon the former chapters in order to open a new one that only I can write. My beloved child, I do not only preserve what I have given you, I secure it by my sovereign authority. No hand can break the journey I have inscribed upon your life. No force can erase the map I have drawn with eternal wisdom. You are not walking in randomness. You are moving within an order established before time itself began. Lift your eyes, not backward, but toward the rising light in the east of spiritual life. For that is where I am unveiling new dimensions of my glory within you. As it is written, the Son of Righteousness will rise. Malachi 4:2. That light does not merely shine upon you, it now shines from within you. For I have placed my own life in you. I no longer call you one who merely overcomes storms, but one who has been entrusted with authority to govern within the sea. You are no longer one who waits for miracles as distant events, but one through whose life miracles are revealed. For I do not only act for you, I act through you. You will do even greater works. John 14:12, not because you are stronger, but because I am operating within you. As I spoke to Joshua, I now speak to you. Be strong and courageous. Joshua 1-9. Yet listen more deeply. This is not merely encouragement, but a spiritual decree sealed by heaven's authority. I am not inviting you to step forward. I am establishing you to step forward. I am not waiting for you to become ready. I am declaring that you have been prepared. You will go, and I will be with you. You will speak, and I will confirm your words in the spiritual realm. You will pray, and I will bring your prayers into alignment with my perfect timing. There is no longer separation between you and me in this journey, for I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 28-20. My beloved child, you no longer carry the identity of fear. You carry the identity of authoritative peace. Peace is no longer something you seek. It is something that flows through you. When you enter a place, the atmosphere will recognize the shift. When you speak, disorder will begin to settle, not because of your effort, but because I am moving through you, like a current that cannot be restrained. You are no longer one searching for direction among many options. You are the one carrying my direction within you, like a compass that does not search for north, but continuously points to it. You have been placed within my stability to become a living sign of heaven's guidance in the midst of the world. And I speak to you this, in this season, I will bring into the light what has been kept hidden in faithfulness. What you have done in secret will no longer remain concealed. There is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. Luke 8:17. Not to elevate your name, but to confirm that I have been with you in every step you have taken. You will begin to see doors opening that you have never touched by your own strength. This is not coincidence. It is confirmation that I am leading you into spaces I have already appointed for you. I am the one who opens, and no one can shut who shuts, and no one can open. Revelation 3-7. And that very authority is now operating within your life. My beloved child, your vessel does not only carry you through this journey, it carries the mission I placed within you before you were formed. It carries the generations that will be reached through your life. It carries the souls who are waiting for the light I have placed within you to radiate through. Therefore, walk not as one carried by history, but as one who is rewriting history in unity with me. You are no longer one being led through the sea of life. You are the one carrying my presence through it. And as you move, I move. When you pause, I remain within you. And when you believe, all of heaven walks with you in the journey I ordained from eternity. My beloved child, let these words sink into your soul like light breaking through morning mist, where doubt no longer has voice, and only the confirmation of the one who called you remains. You are no longer walking as one trying to stand firm in faith. You are living as faith itself being fulfilled. No longer a prayer reaching upward in darkness, but a living testimony that I have heard, I have seen, and I have acted. As it is written, I am with you always, Matthew 28:20. This is no longer a distant promise, but a living reality moving through every breath you take. Every day you live is not the waiting for something to happen, but the evidence that I am still choosing you, still sending you, still upholding you, and still placing my authority upon your life. My beloved child, you no longer need to prove that you have faith, for your very life has become the witness of it. You are no longer standing outside the promise trying to enter it. You are living within the promise itself, like a flow that cannot be stopped. The righteous will live by faith, Romans 1:17, not occasionally, not only when strong, but in every breath of existence. I am not calling you to bow under a false sense of smallness, but to walk in humility that carries authority. Humility is not shrinking yourself. It is knowing your true position in me. You walk with a gentle heart, yet not with the posture of fear. You speak with the voice of one who has been healed, yet within your words carries the authority of one anointed by my own hand. My beloved child, do not continue to judge yourself according to the seasons of the past, for the person I have shaped in silence cannot be measured by the standards of what once was. I have used silent seasons to remove distorted limitations, hidden seasons to form discernment within you, and stormy seasons to establish a steadiness that nothing external can break. As it is written, you are the potter, and we are the clay, Isaiah 64:8. You are not the accidental result of circumstance, but my intentional work of creation. And now your spiritual form has been shaped to carry the authority I am placing upon you. My beloved child, I declare this with eternal certainty. Everything around you is beginning to recognize the authority I have placed within you, not because you have generated power yourself, but because you carry my presence. When you enter a place, you are not the center, rather, I am moving through you, for it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you, Matthew 10:20. This is the flow of true authority. Every word you speak in truth is no longer mere sound, but a shaking within the spiritual atmosphere, not because you strive to create impact, but because I have placed power within your faithfulness. What once appeared stagnant will begin to move when you speak in unity with me. Therefore, move forward, my beloved child, not in hesitation, but in the assurance of one who has been sent. The waves no longer oppose you, for I am directing them. The wind is no longer chaos, for I am guiding it. And the heavens are no longer closed, for I am opening new dimensions over your journey. As it is written, lift up your heads, O gates, Psalm 24:7. You are stepping into a season where doors are no longer limited by human capacity, but by my will operating through you. Heaven is watching over you, not in testing to see if you are enough, but in confirmation that you have been prepared. This is the moment of transition. This is the season where what was sown in hiddenness begins to bear fruit in the light. And this is the moment I place the rod of spiritual authority into your hand, not to rule as the world rules, but to operate in the power of obedience. My beloved child, hear this clearly. You are no longer one who merely survives storms. You are one formed to lead through the waters I have opened before you. You are no longer simply existing within the journey. You are governing the destiny I wrote for you before time began. And I declare over you, the dawn of heaven has touched the waters of your life. Your vessel is no longer waiting. It has begun to move under the activation of promise. And all of the spiritual realm bears witness to this. The journey has begun. My beloved child, before you step deeper into this sacred dialogue, let your heart settle like the sea when the wind has just yielded to my stillness. Now, in the light of the journey that has been unveiled, I invite you into a place where your soul no longer speaks from fear, no longer breathes through doubt, but begins to offer to me your very life as a complete response. And under my guidance, let your heart open from the deepest place within me. I now lift before you my most honest prayer, without hiding, without withholding, but fully surrendered in your presence, so that from this moment forward, your words are no longer echoes of your former self, but the resonance of a soul entering into spiritual inheritance. Almighty God, creator of heaven and sea, I come before you no longer as one standing at the shore looking into the distance, but as one who has stepped onto the vessel of my appointed destiny. I do not ask you to change the journey, but to strengthen my heart within it. Keep me from the instability of old emotions, from the voice of doubt that once slowed my steps, and lead me into the depth of the peace you have already placed within me. Help me understand that authority does not come from volume, but from unity with you, not from striving for control, but from surrendering into your will. As it is written, be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Teach me to live in that stillness as one who carries authority without losing humility. Now I lift my soul into another prayer. Deeper, gentler, yet filled with conviction. Eternal Father, teach me no longer to chase the sense of safety from my former days, but to stand firm within your guidance even when I cannot see the full path ahead. Let every breath I take become an awareness that you are with me, never distant, never interrupted. Shape my heart so that it no longer reacts to the waves, but reflects your peace within the waves. Help me understand that I am not only called to survive, but sent to bear witness to your life in every place I step into. As you have spoken, I am with you always. Matthew 28:20. Let this not remain a thought in my mind, but the very breath within each step I take. Now I continue to offer a third prayer. As a deeper current of surrender, faithful God, teach me no longer to see my life as a sequence of disconnected days, but as a journey carefully ordered by you in every rhythm. Help me recognize that even the silent moments are speaking, and even the unseen future is already being prepared by you. Open my eyes to see that I am never alone, but surrounded by your invisible yet ever-present presence. Teach me to listen more than to rush, to discern more than to react, and to walk in peace rather than be carried by fear. As it is written, He makes straight the paths of the righteous. Proverbs 3:6. Shape me into one who can recognize the straight path amid all the shifting movements of life. My beloved child, now I desire you to enter the fourth prayer in a deeper movement of your soul. O Lord of eternal dominion, place upon me the steadiness of one who has been sent forth. Do not let me return to seek my former identity. Do not allow me to be pulled back by memories of past weakness, but keep me in the light of the new identity you have given me. Let me walk not in pride, but in the awareness that all authority within me comes from you. Let every word I speak carry the weight of truth. Every action I take reflect your presence, and every decision I make be guided by the living Spirit within me. As it is written, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, Zechariah 4:6. Let me live in this truth every day. And now, in the movement of the soul, I lift the fifth prayer as a full connection with you. Merciful Father, help me never forget that the vessel I have stepped onto is not merely a personal journey, but the unfolding of a mission you have written across my life. Let me understand that every step I take carries influence beyond myself. Every word I speak can reach souls I have never met. And every small act of obedience becomes the foundation of something greater you are building. Let me not live closed within my own limitations, but expanded within the width of your will. As it is written, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. Let me not hide this light, but allow it to shine through me naturally and purely. My beloved child, now I bring you into two expressions of gratitude, not as ritual, but as a flowing recognition from a soul awakened. Faithful God, I thank you for never leaving me in seasons I did not understand, for remaining present in the silence where I once thought you were absent. I thank you that every misstep I took was used by you to redirect me, and every tear I shed was used to water the soil of faith within me, so that today I no longer stand in uncertainty, but in the assurance of one who is called. I recognize that nothing has been wasted in your hands, and I also offer a second gratitude, deeper in awareness. Eternal Father, I thank you for transforming me from one who merely prays into one who carries prayers already answered. I thank you for turning fear into stability, waiting into movement, and silence into formation. I thank you that you did not only rescue me from the sea, but taught me to walk upon it. I thank you that you did not only give me peace, but made me peace for others. As it is written, give thanks in all circumstances. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. I realize that every circumstance in my life is becoming a testimony of your presence. My beloved child, I want you to close this prayer not as an ending, but as a deeper beginning within your soul. For from this point forward, you are no longer one who merely stands on the shore looking out toward the sea, but one who carries within you the very heavens of my presence as you step into your journey. You are no longer searching for your destiny, for you are now living within it, and every wave that rises before you is no longer a challenge to fear, but a confirmation that I am with you, in you, and moving through you, until the journey I have written for you is brought to completion in my glory. Thank you for receiving this message. Know this deeply. You are not merely a listener or an observer. You are one chosen to live daily in the presence of my word. Do not forget to remain attentive and steadfast, so that you do not miss any of the spiritual guidance I am continually revealing to you. Amen.